Decentering men is literally only happening on TikTok, and it's literally just like people just saying it and not actually living that. Okay, so get ready with me as I review this book. The book is Dream Counts by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. So yeah, I'm gonna review this book. I read this about a few months ago, but it just recently came up for me again, and I feel like I need to talk about it. So let's do my makeup, and then we'll delve into it. So I'm gonna start with a primer. I don't know if this is an actual primer. It's a pore eraser. This is from like back in the day. I'm a YouTuber. This is like back in the day. So I'm gonna put that. I already have like moisturizer on from like earlier in the day, so I'm gonna put this on. Like, I'm not like a makeup artist or anything. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna think I'm a makeup artist, but like I'm not like super good at my makeup, but like I think I do well for my face and how I like to look. I say my look is more like on the clean girl like aesthetic, and it's not even intentional. It's just like that's the only makeup I know how to do, so that's that. But yes, so in the book I'll kind of like give a summary of the book. So Chimamanda, she's the one that wrote Americana. She wrote Half of a Yellow Sun. She wrote Purple Hibiscus. She wrote The Thing Around Your Neck, and I have read all of them. And then she wrote Zecora. Zecora makes an appearance in this book. So Zecora was like a short story. So in the book, we're introduced to Chimamanda, Zecora, and Omologo. So we start off with Chimamanda like just trying to find love, and she is like dating like the wrong people. She dates like just like people from different like nationalities that end up like kind of not liking her because, well, the first guy, what's his name, like he actually hated her in a funny way because of her access to wealth, her access to just like living. Like she had oh no, I'm forgetting someone else. Chimamanda, Omologo, oh my god, the house help, what's her name? I'm gonna look for it. Okay, so the other person is Kariatsu. I think like I have a blog post about this. I think I didn't mention Kariatsu because like her story is like kind of based on somewhat of a true story, and I just feel like it's such a touchy subject that like I felt like I wouldn't do it justice. Like I didn't want to like put my thoughts to it based on like just like the nature of the story, and I also felt like it didn't really fit into the overall book. Well, it kind of did because we'll get to it. So back to Chimamanda. Chimamanda dated this man that like kind of hates her because she's kind of like she's wealthy, she's rich, she comes from like a rich household, and like she has a house she didn't work for. She has the luxury of doing kind of whatever she wants to do with her life, and that rubs the boyfriend the wrong way. Then she goes on to date someone who is married. She just dates guys who basically she just can't find love the way that she feels like she ought to. And then she kind of compares herself to her mother. She states in the book like her mother is so beautiful. Her mother, like, she's beautiful, she's rich, she has a loyal husband, and like all those things. And I feel like maybe that's what she was chasing. One part of the book that really stuck out to me, so the foundation I'm using is a Bobbi Brown. So it looks like I bought two wrong shades. So the one that is actually my shade is the Neutral Walnut, and these ones are chestnut, so they're a bit darker, so I think I'm going to use it as a bronzer. I like to be bronzed up. I don't know if it looks good or not, but that's how I like to look. I like this foundation so much because it's this low effort, look at the color match. Can you even tell that I have foundation on? It's just so easy to apply. Well, I probably should have did my brows. I don't really do much to my brows. I don't know how to do my brows, so I kind of like to leave it alone. Like I will fill it in a bit, but like that's all I do to my my brows. But let me blend this out. So like in the book, she talks about her mom, like how a lot of women envy her mom because like it's kind of like, how did you get everything? How did you get to look so beautiful? How do you get to have a faithful, loyal, rich husband? How do you get to have like kids that are like from the outside are doing well for themselves? So she kind of talks about how women kind of envy her mom. And I feel like in a way she's also kind of acknowledging like, how did her mom get so lucky to find her dad? And she's having such trouble with her her love life. And then we go on to Zipporah. So I didn't realize Zipporah, there was a separate story about Zipporah like that she had written like years before that I had read, till I finished reading the book. So in Zipporah's story, Zipporah also trying to find love, didn't get good luck, and then finally she finds someone who from the outside looked like he is the best guy for her, and they're dating. The concealer is also Bobbi Brown. They're dating, everything is going well till Zipporah gets pregnant. Zipporah gets pregnant, this guy goes ghost on her, and she's kind of like, this is weird. Even his family is like supporting this behavior. It's kind of like, weren't you guys were the same ones that were welcoming me, like acting like I'm this man's wife, and now that there's a baby in that picture, everyone has like disappeared, and she's kind of battling with that, and it kind of makes her like angry somewhat, kind of like how. And I think in the beginning she thought her mom was going to be so disappointed in her and everything like that. So as the story is being told, we come to find out that her mom also had issues in her marriage where the dad wanted a son, and so got somebody else pregnant, and eventually like slowly but surely kind of like left Zipporah and her mom to live with this new woman that had the son for him. And it's kind of like she's kind of also grappling with like, oh, like my mom has also gone through something similar. So like when her mom comes to visit her, thinking that her mom is about to kind of like blast her and make her feel bad for like her life choices, her mom is like, no, we're gonna take care of this kid, and like this is what I went through with your father. And so the dad is like, the mom is telling her the story, and she's kind of like seeing like, oh, like my mom too has been a woman who's been disappointed, who's had like her heart broken, all these things, right? And so like they come to a realization like it's just them two, they're gonna raise this child. This thing keeps going out of focus. They're gonna raise this child and they're gonna do a good job at it, like that kind of thing. So that's their story. And then the other story was Omelogo. So Omelogo is kind of like a feminist, where she doesn't feel the need to, for a long time she didn't feel the need to be married, but she felt like even to get ahead in life she had to like kowtow to like men to get to where she was, where like giving men credit for things that she did just so she can get ahead. And she was like smuggling money. That was, by the way, that was just so random. I thought. So she also is kind of like, so her mom is like, yo, like as if she's accomplished so much, but also it's almost like her accomplishments mean nothing because she's not married. think I'm gonna add more bronzer. I was trying to use the foundation as a bronzer, but I don't look bronzed enough for me, so I'm gonna use this Say bronzer. Is Sun Melts. What's the color? Natural. Yeah, I'm gonna use that a little bit. I feel like it doesn't even look like I have makeup on, but like, I mean, that's the goal, right? Like, well, it's not the goal. Like, I want to look like I put in effort. Anyways, so Omologo is like, she keeps battling with she has like a bad relationship with Zakara. So Zakara is Chiamaka's best friend and Omologo is Chiamaka's friend. So like, just like a bit on Kariatsu, like I guess like trigger warning, I'm gonna be talking about like sexual assault and rape, etc. So in Kariatsu is Chiamaka's like house help, and in the past I think there's like a true story. It's based off somewhat of a true story where she works at a hotel and a white man kind of like raped her, and at the end of the day it's kind of like nobody believes her because it's kind of like, why you, like, because she's not like, she wasn't like something to look at, like, you know, she comes from a poor background, and even her story to even get to the United States, like, it's just tragic. So it's just like the whole court deliberations about whether or not she got raped, and like I think it's an actual thing, so maybe I'll link the story in the description. I like I said, I feel like I can't do it justice, and it's too precious of a story to like mess up. So those are the 4 characters in the book. So some of the criticism that I heard about the book was the fact that it was too male-centered, and I was just saying on my Instagram and in my blog post that, you know, decentering men is literally only happening on TikTok, and it's literally just like people just saying it and not actually living that. So when somebody say like, oh, we're decentering men, like, no, like, especially like in the African culture, men are not even just the African culture, like I feel like in our world, like, men are the center. And so people were coming at Chimamanda that the book was too male-centered, and I was just like, yeah, because that is the reality of our world. Like, even on my logo, like from the surface, you're gonna think, oh, she's like a feminist, like she doesn't care about men, da 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 da. But to even get ahead, to even get to the level that she wants to get to, she has to like cater to men and baby their egos and do all these things to get there. And then there are people that are so accomplished, but like they may want, the idea of a family is important to them. And so like the criticism, I found it unfair. But then I was just like, but when I read the author's note, that changed everything for me, because she was just like, this book is not even about their relationships. I was like, so what is it about? So she was like, she wrote the book following her mother's death. And so the book is really focusing on mother-daughter relationship, womanhood, sisterhood, girlhood. And I was like, yes, because after I read that, I was like, that makes so much sense. So throughout the book, like, you kind of hear the discussions concerning like the mothers and their daughters, and you're just like, it just seemed like an aside, right? But when she said that, you actually can see why the book is written how it's written. And I really loved it, because I was just like, mother-daughter relationships, especially like in the African context, is not explored as much. And we hear stories about women, like, you know, actually don't even hear stories about like the older generation, like maybe like the baby boomers, like the things that they went through in their relationships and their marriages, etc. And I was just thinking of Zakara's mom, and just like having to be a first wife without signing up for it. Whereas when you got together, you were of the understanding that it's just gonna be the two of us. And now another woman is brought into the picture, but it's like, this person is your all in all, so you can't like afford to leave them. What are you gonna do? Or in the sense that like, this is my life now, and so like I have to stay. I have to like accept the fact that there's another woman, that he has like another family that he caters to, and we all have an understanding. And even like when they will go to events, she was the main woman that they would go to events with. But when it came to like after the event, where is this man gonna sleep? He's gonna sleep with the new wife, not because he prefers her, but basically it's like, my son is there, my son is acting out, and I need to take care of him. And I was just like, this is so sad, because, and this is something that you may not even know of your mom. Like Zakara didn't know that about her mom, and so she thought her mom was kind of like not understanding of her situation. Like her mom was gonna judge her for having a baby out of wedlock and not having a man to do that life with. And like her mom just kind of switching it up on her, like, no, you're good. Like her mom was like, no, we're like, this is our baby, we're gonna take care of. And then even Chiamaka's mom too was kind of like, knowing that people don't like you because they think they see you as so lucky, without even knowing like the details of your upbringing, because she also went through a few things when she was younger than mom. So it's kind of like, you're seeing my end result. And I think, and then even with Kadiatsu, because she also had a daughter, and her daughter was kind of like with her through the whole like court ordeal and everything like that. And I was just thinking, like, even with all these mother-daughter relationship, it's kind of like coming to a conclusion that like we first of all, we get each other as women. Like as women, this is similar things, we go through similar things, we feel similar things, we experience similar things. So it doesn't even matter the age, or it doesn't even matter like who just a second, I'm looking for my mascara, give me a second. Mascara. What was I even saying? Oh yeah, like basically as women we go through similar things, and it just kind of reminds me like somebody's issues may look one way, but until you know the full story, like we have to like give grace and things like that to like people. And also like being more like realizing that as women we're all going through similar things, we're experiencing similar things, and it's like judging one another is like, it's not helpful. As in like how maybe like the women were like judging their mothers, so their mothers were judging their daughters, and it's kind of like, this is womanhood. Like you're gonna like in Ghana, like ubenyabet, so like you're going to grow up and experience the same thing. And I think sometimes the older generation needs to do like a better job of like prepping like the younger generation of like what's to come, what's to happen. Not pollute their mind, but like if somebody comes to you like, I'm actually putting up with this thing, like what should I do? Like the older generation kind of like, you're like, this is something that most people go through, but this is how I've navigated it, or like how I would navigate it. So I think it was such a good book. And I was just also saying like, people that didn't really care for it, I think we're so used to Chimamanda writing about like cultural things, like because we have like purple hibiscus and Half of a Yellow Sun, where it's kind of centered around like Nigerian history and like things like that, or like it's very heavily cultural in terms of like Nigeria or like Africa. And then we have Americana, similar vein, where like, you know, it's kind of centered around Africanness and things like that. And I think this is one of her first books that is not like, even though part of it is based in Nigeria, like that wasn't the primary, like she wasn't trying to teach us Nigerian culture or African culture. She was kind of like just it was called women culture. Like I think that was like the emphasis, because we see Chimamanda in the book go like everywhere, date everyone, and it's kind of like, I really like this mascara. It is Clinique. I'm obsessed. I have like 3 of them. But we see I think she's just kind of like expanding, and she says in her author's note, like, don't box me into one category. Like, she's not always going to write about like Nigerian things or like Nigerian culture. Like, she is Nigerian, it's embedded into her, and that's how she grew up. But like, it's not every day trying to teach you something about Nigeria. Like, and even in this, like, if that's what you were looking for, like in Omalola's story, or even some of the other ladies, like you kind of like get some of that, but it wasn't like the main emphasis. And I think because people have come to expect certain narratives from her, they couldn't get away from that. And I think honestly that was not good for them, because that's how people ended up not liking the book. So anyways, I have to read it again from this lens, because I kind of read the book before I read the author's note, and so when I was reading it, I was kind of also focused on the relationships. But following reading the author's note, I was like, okay, like there's actually more to this than just the relationships in the book. So I think I'm actually going to read it again from this angle of mother-daughter like relationships. I'm gonna spray my face. I think I'm done with my makeup. I think I'm only gonna be gone for a few hours, not even like more than 3 hours. So I don't know if I should set it again, because someone was saying that, I think it's Jackie Aina, she was like, after you do your setting spray, then go over it with your powder again. My tried and true is the Deep Darkest Mineralized Skin Finish by MAC. I've been using this for almost a decade, over a decade now. So a fave of mine. Lip, I have the NYX, it's called Duck Plump. It's a lip liner. I'm wearing a brown sweater, so I'll just do a gloss over this. Oh, the NYX Butter Gloss in Praline. Yeah. Top it with Fenty's gloss. Is the Heat one or is it not? I like a little plump here and there, but let's put that here. Okay, I think my makeup is done. I'm gonna style my hair and I'll be back. Okay, so I am all set. Overall, it was a fantastic book. by Chimamanda. Honestly, one of my favorites from her as of yet. I'm looking forward to what else she has coming out like in the future, seeing how like what themes she's going to explore and things like that. And so with that said, this concludes the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Do well to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you enjoyed this video. And if yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.